Hello brain lovers, Gregory here from the Brain Academy. I'm so glad you're here. You will be the very special witness of this moment, historical moment. This is the end of my 100 days without alcohol. The whole experiment is over, and now for the first time in 100 days I will be drinking alcohol. My first glass. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been 100 long days. So let's try to do this together and make this a very special moment that will count for at least the rest of the year. There you go. It looks good, it looks fine. This one is for you guys. So something happened in these 100 days without alcohol, and I want to talk about it in this vlog here today. It's been weird. It's been absolutely not something that I expected. Hear me out. Last year I did 100 days without alcohol and I really liked it. What I really liked about it was that I was under control at all times. Even when I was going to receptions or parties or anything, I wasn't drinking alcohol, so I stayed cleared, in control. Even in the middle of the night, driving home, it was always safe, and this sense of control I really enjoyed. However, at the end of the 100 days, I was feeling a little bit anxious and I was really looking forward to having my first drink, which I did last year and which I enjoyed, etc. Well, which I enjoyed, kinda. It really quickly went back to normal. Now this year, when I started my 100 days without alcohol, I was really thinking that it would be the same, 100 days without drinking. I would be talking here today to you that it's actually not that difficult and it's worth doing it. It's very healthy, cleansing the whole body and mind. It is really good for your brain not to drink, as alcohol, as I explained in the former video, really slows down neurogenesis and has all kind of nasty effects on the brain. So I was so prepared to give this talk to you guys, and then something happened along the way of these 100 days. You see, a couple of weeks ago I was invited to some friends for dinner, and when we got there, of course, they were offering some alcohol for the aperitif. I don't know if you guys have aperitif, but we are so close to the French culture here in Belgium. The aperitif, the apéro, is something sacred. C'est l'heure de l'apéro, on l'a bien mérité. C'est l'heure de l'apéro. So anyway, we had the apéro, and the thing is, I wasn't drinking alcohol, of course. So my friend was telling me, well, I've got some beer without alcohol if you want some.
It's like a non-alcoholic beer. It's got no alcohol.
Is it beer?
Yeah, with no alcohol.
I remember once having tasted beer without alcohol and it tasted horrible. I really didn't like it. But this time I was like, what the heck, sure, why not? Let's try it. And they gave me this beer. It was a special beer, actually a beer that I really enjoy. And but this one was without alcohol. And I tasted it and I really liked it. It was really good. So I came home all excited. Next day I went to the supermarket and bought myself a whole bunch of beers without alcohol just to taste them and to check out which ones I would enjoy. So I tried out a whole lot of beers without alcohol, and I even bought some wine without alcohol. Now, to be honest, I didn't like all of them. There were really two that stood out for me personally that I really enjoyed. And the wine, yeah, that really didn't hit home. No, the wine was a total fiasco. The beer, however, there were two that really stood out that I really enjoyed. So I started drinking my beer without alcohol. Then a couple of weeks later, I got invited to another friend's house, and there they served some wine at dinner. Man, it was really good wine. I have to say, this was Saint-Emilion. I adore Saint-Emilion. It's my favorite all-time wine. So then it's just like a little bit to taste. So yes, I sinned, I have to admit. I drank a little bit of Saint-Emilion, and when I tasted it, I was really surprised about the taste. It had changed. I mean, it wasn't as I remembered, and it was weird.
I don't know you anymore.
So I didn't drink a lot of it, just a couple of sips, and I left it. I was really not worried, of course, because if I start liking less alcohol, that would be a good thing. However, I had a lot of questions. I didn't understand it. Why, how, and all that. Again, a couple of weeks later, there was my beer without alcohol, and then next to it, there was another beer with alcohol. I didn't know which was which, so I took a sip of the one with alcohol, and I ended up spitting it out. It was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And I realized it was a real beer.
Oh, it's terrible. Nobody drink the beer. The beer has gone bad.
What? So really strange thing in my taste buds happening and everything. And then started thinking about it. What is happening? A lot of questions, a lot of thoughts rushing through my head. And what I ended up realizing are two things here. My very first beer that I drank ever in my life, I was 14 years old. Don't judge me, I'm European, we have a drinking culture. So 14 years old, I drank like not even half of it. It tasted horrible. I really didn't like it. It was so bitter, so ugh. So I didn't finish my beer. And I remember after that, my first beers after that, again when I was like 17 years old, I didn't like them. It was just peer pressure and trying to be tough with the other guys.
Delicious.
And so little by little, beer became an acquired taste. But I didn't enjoy it back then. Later on, I really enjoyed it, of course. However, the probability that I really enjoyed it because of the dopamine kick of the alcohol is now becoming for me something that is pretty obvious. I mean, each time you drink alcohol, there's a dopamine kick that kicks in your brain. Woo! Woo! And that makes you enjoy it, and that makes you crave it, and makes you looking forward to more, etc., etc. It's the alcohol that really pushes you to drink more of the drink, but the drink itself without the alcohol should be enjoyable by itself, of course. So that's what I started realizing, drinking beer without alcohol. The beer itself is great. It's the actually, it's the alcohol that messes it up. Why? Because first, the more you drink of it, the more drunk you get, and it's just... can't even walk anymore or think straight or whatever. Second, one of the things I really love is playing piano, and the more I drink, the less I can play. So if I'm with my friends to have a couple of drinks, I can't really play piano anymore the way I would like. Now, if I drink no alcohol or beer without alcohol, I would still be 100% clear and would be able to enjoy and perform here, in this case, piano playing without any problem. And this is true for a lot of things. I ended up thinking about this the more I realized that it's actually the alcohol that's screwing up the experience. It poisons the experience of the drink. With wine, the same. If I could only find a wine that is as good as a Saint-Emilion without the alcohol in it, that would be fantastic. I'm so looking forward to having that experience, because it's the taste of alcohol behind it that ruins it now for me. So looking really forward to discovering more drinks that I can have without alcohol. So there's a whole alcohol part, the whole dopamine part that pushes you to enjoy it when you're actually not enjoying it, because we should not forget that alcohol is a drug, right? But the drink itself isn't. So enjoying the drink without the alcohol has been a huge revelation for me. And then there's something else I realized. Last year I had the same, this year I had the same. When I first stopped drinking alcohol, the first 10 days or so, I become cranky, I become nervous, I become irritable.
Hey, can you turn your music down, please? Because I'm having a really hard time.
Whatever. Yeah, sure, man.
And what I had this year, which I didn't have last year, is that for the last 10 days, I became so lucid, so clear-minded, so focused, so much more positive and enthusiastic and driven. That's because of the neurogenesis. Remember, alcohol slows down neurogenesis almost to a halt. The more you drink it, the more it slows down the creation of new brain cells. Now, usually when you change a behavior, it takes around 3 weeks for that to have an effect in your brain, to have an impact on neurogenesis. Well, here it's been 100 days, so way more than 3 weeks. So the 3 weeks, probably the first impact, I didn't really realize it. However, now that I'm so much further, it's been 100 days, and for the last 10 days, I really feel an impact. I really feel clear. I drink my couple of beers at night without alcohol, and the next day, I am crystal clear. I don't have that foggy feeling I usually have when I drink alcohol, and I can work better, I can focus better. It's been so enjoyable that right now I don't feel like going back to drinking alcohol. I remember last year I was craving alcohol the last days. I really wanted my drink. Not now. I'm so happy that I discovered these drinks without alcohol that I don't want to go back to that other experience.
Hasta la vista, baby.
So it looks like those 100 days will go on for a while now. I'm not planning to drink alcohol anymore at home, unless some friends invited, but then of course it would be way less. If I'm invited somewhere else, yeah, I might drink of course, but I will check for other options first. This is a new thing for me. This is a new world. I mean, I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not a light drinker. I'm more than a social drinker, because up till 100 days ago, I liked to enjoy a drink of alcohol by myself. Some close friends of mine always make fun of me saying that I'm an alcoholic. Of course I'm not. I mean, that's not something we should be joking about. It's a very serious thing. Still, this is new territory for me. This is something new. I never ever thought I would be here saying this, that I'm actually seriously considering not drinking alcohol anymore, or at least bringing it back to really minimal doses. So wish me luck. I'm probably gonna need it. No, it's the contrary. I'm not gonna need it. This feels so good. This feels right. And yeah, if you guys have this kind of experience somehow, please share in the comments below. Maybe you have some good advice as well. I'm telling you, this is a new world for me. So yeah, I might do another one of these topic vlogs in another 100 days. Maybe, why not? So let's see how good I'll be in keeping my resolutions. So I'm a little confused here, guys. Let's give it a shot, because, well, not a shot. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want more of this, check out some of the other episodes. Oh, and if you want the real stuff, go to brainacademy.com. There you can join over 250,000 other students of the Brain Academy and start using your brain better. Yeah, brain out.
Sharpen.